Well, I'm back at the Classic Arcade and Pinball Museum. This time I'm with the owner, Jim. If you don't mind introducing yourself.
I'm Jim Connolly. I'm the owner of the arcade.
And we discussed this after us doing this after the one I did with Suri. And well, here we are.
What would you like to know?
And let me pull up some questions. Even though I ask a lot of these to Suri as well. How long have you been into arcade games like the ones in here?
As far as playing them, ever since I was a kid. But as far as collecting and repairing them, probably in the past 15 years since I moved into a house that had a basement, so I had some extra room that I could fill up. So,
I've been a fan of playing arcade games all my life, as far as I know.
Oh, same with me. I grew up in the 80s, so.
I was right at 1990.
Oh, okay.
I was right at the edge of the 80s.
Okay.
A few weeks sooner, and I would have been 89.
Okay, yeah.
Let's just say that.
I was born in '74, so I kind of grew up with the games, although I was a little young to be able to afford to play them. So that's when I grew up and had my own job and my own money, I decided to, buy some of my favorite games that I liked. As a kid, I wasn't really able to play that much. That was being high speed, and I bought a multi-cade and played all the old classic games.
And I'm assuming you heard of the MAME stuff, MAME.
Yes, yeah, PC-based emulation. I have. I've never really gotten into that as much. I didn't have a desire to have a machine that just had thousands of games on it. A lot of times when people have those, it's just a lot of junk and filler. So I think my multi-cade has about 100 games, and it's a solid state board, so it's not a PC running in there. So it's just a little bit more of a solid build than what MAME typically is.
Yeah, and you're right about people using MAME having lots of crap on it.
Yes. Yeah.
And probably lots of hacks.
Yep. Well, there's even multi-cade boards that have like 2,000 games. And I just don't find it fun because it's, number one, a lot of times, when you've got that quantity, you don't have the same quality. Like some of the games, the sound isn't right, it doesn't play 100% like the original, whereas the boards that I buy, put in my multi-cade, they're expensive. They're not cheap boards. But they have about 100 games, and they play really well, and they save all the high scores and everything like that with the MAME. And it's a lightweight solution rather than a PC. It's like overkill for stuff like this. When you only need like a minimal processing power.
Especially for the types of games it's to be playing.
Yeah. Unless you're going to play some more modern stuff from like the early 2000s, you really, a simple small circuit board can handle just about everything.
Well, I know you've been, how long have you been running this place?
A little over a year. So we opened in March of 2024, March 1st, 2024, and it's almost April now, so it's about a year and 1 month.
Congrats on your 1 year anniversary, a month or two late.
Yeah, a month ago was our 1 year anniversary.
Congrats on that.
Well, thanks. No, it's been great. I mean, people really enjoy it, and it gets great feedback from customers, and great word of mouth. It just gets busier and busier every month. So it's been great, and we're finally making enough that we can buy more games. This year we're looking to buy about 3 to 4 new pinball machines, brand new ones, the modern ones, which are the most popular.
I know you recently gotten a Dungeons and Dragons one.
Yep. Yeah, and that's our first new one we've added since we opened. Now we've added over 20, 25 arcade games since we opened. But now this year we're looking to really hit it hard with some pinball and get, at least 3 or 4 brand new ones and maybe some other, not old games. I'm not looking for any more electromechanicals, but I'd like to get some, Williams System 11 games would be great. They come in at a good price point and they're a lot of fun to play. So I'm going to see what I can get.
So where do you usually go when you buy these things?
For the brand new ones, I buy them from a distributor. For the older stuff, I either get them at auctions or sometimes Facebook Marketplace. And enough people know about me here that, if they have a game that they're looking to sell, they'll contact me directly a lot of times now, which makes it a lot easier. Yeah, sure.
Well, we'll be taking a small break. In the meantime, here's a pre-recorded segment on the innards of a pinball machine. Well, let's see what the inside of a pinball machine looks like when taken apart. Funny story. After I did the thing with Surrey, we found that a ball had went in this area underneath the table on the demolition man machine.
It could be that was an extra ball, but it doesn't mean that many balls possibly.
I meant over here on.
Yeah, I think there was too many balls in that one. I found that one Sunday.
I'm assuming that's all the circuitry that controls the machine.
It's not really circuitry, it's more switches and relays. It's all electromechanical. There's no circuit boards in there.
I see. Pretty interesting for those who want to know about this sort of stuff. This kind of looks like a cell phone.
It is. That's what does the chimes.
Oh.
So, can't really do it without. Yeah. So like the little these solenoids, electromagnets shove a little piece of metal into them, and that's what causes the chimes.
I see now. Well, that's how the noises are made on these old ones.
Here's how the flipper works. This magnet pulls this in and turns the flipper. This magnet to the left pulls that in and turns the flipper.
Those two are the flipper buttons.
Yeah, and all these little round things are solar. They're electromagnets, and they push and pull.
Yeah.
These reset the drop targets. By hand, and they push back up. And the drop targets get hit. This magnet lifts them back up into place.
Gotcha.
And all these down here are all for the logic and scoring and everything else. And they're all labeled. It's like ball return relay, reset relay, start relay, and those things kind of fire off. And when these pull in, they're connecting and disconnecting like a stack of switches. They all do different things.
Okay, I'm gonna pause the record or stop this one and get prepared for the. Well, we looked at an old machine. Now let's see how a newer machine would look from the inside once we get it dismantled. If we can get it dismantled.
Take the balls out.
That's the behemoth of wires. And there's really not as much down here.
Yep, and all the logic is on a board in the back box.
Let me reach down here and zoom in.
Just like our previous machine. Just like the previous machine, we've got solenoids that operate the flipper. And they pull these pieces of metal in, and that's what turns the flipper.
Yeah. And I see there's a lot more flashing lights here than they were in the Spirit of 76 one we were looking at before.
Yeah, it's much more modern, kind of all integrated. Like each one of these boards does all the different lights. All the transistors are up here, which are the switches that operate the solenoid instead of being a switch like the bottom of the box. It's all compact.
But that one of the lights was about to blind me.
It's pretty cool. Much neater, much nicer and neat.
Yeah.
Easier to kind of find out what's going on.
And I understand these are from your own personal collection?
Well, I bought them. I bought them for the arcade. The only ones from my personal collection are Star Wars, High Speed, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then I continued. I started buying additional ones a couple of years before we opened. Slowly. So they were in my personal collection for a little while.
Let me get a video of it before you close it. Somehow it got back to picture mode. But what you're seeing here is the underbelly of the Foo Fighters pinball machine. Okay, we're back, and there's something I've been wanting to ask you since last Friday's interview with Suri. From a range of 1 to 10, 1 being easy and 10 being so hard you wouldn't recommend it to people, how hard would it be to maintain and fix one of these machines?
It really depends. I mean, I've been doing it for long enough. And it really depends on so I mean, I can do that. I can usually fix them pretty quick. Usually before, if something breaks, I can fix it right on the spot if I have the parts. Sometimes it requires a little bit more of a diagnosis, but that would be difficult for most people. It really depends on the problem. If it's a physical thing, like a switch not working or something like that, that's a little easier to fix because you can see it and you can run diagnostics. But sometimes it requires circuit board work, which that I think would be kind of on the 10 side, because if you don't know what you're looking for, and if you don't know how those circuit boards work and what is doing what, that can be very difficult. Those are the things that are most difficult.
So let's just say it depends on what game and what part you're working with.
Yep, and same thing goes with the arcade machines. If it's like a button not working or a joystick not working, those are easy to fix. Just because it's just a physical part that you can buy a new joystick or whatever and rewire it up. It does require some soldering skills and basic electronic skills, but it's not. That isn't difficult. But if something isn't playing right in the game, that could be a much bigger problem. If it's like a circuit board thing, it's much more difficult. Or if it's a monitor issue, they're much more difficult to fix.
I understand about the monitor issue because of P42 here sometimes weaken out.
Yep. And that one, the problem with that one's kind of funny. I mean, sometimes it just requires to be unplugged and plugged back in. A lot of these are on, they're grouped into like, I got about like 8 games per circuit. And sometimes they don't like all being turned on at once because and certain monitors they're not getting enough voltage for that startup, so they just never start up. But like I said, unplugging them and plugging back in will allow them to work again. And that P47 is a great example of that.
Okay. I know one of the about to ask is out of left field almost, but do you think there's a Wreck-It Ralph-like scenario going on within the arcade machines when we're not looking and not in here?
Say that again?
You know the movie Wreck-It Ralph, right?
Yeah.
Do you think a similar scenario could be happening in the arcade machines?
Oh, they're all hanging out afterwards? I doubt it. But I mean, that was a great movie. But yeah, I don't think
I watched it. I'll admit it. I watched it, and I haven't seen the sequel.
That is a great movie, and great music in it too.
One of the few times I bought DVDs. Rarely do buy DVDs back when I could play them. Now my computer doesn't even have a CD slot. But as I was getting at, you don't think anything like that would be going on?
No, probably not.
Out of all the machines out here, both in the realm of arcade games and pinball games, which one would be your favorite in each category?
I would have to say for the pinballs, it's got to be Dr. No. Dr. No is a great game. For a pro model, which is a little less expensive, it plays great and has a lot of great features and shots. As far as the arcade games go, probably Mr. Do. Mr. Do is my favorite arcade.
Now I'm gonna pull a Wikipedia disambiguation page. Mr. Do or Mr. Do's Castle?
Oh, Mr. Do. No Mr. Do's Castle. I can't play that game. I don't know. I can't figure out the logic for it. I can't get past like the second board on it.
Okay.
Mr. Do, I'll play. I play Mr. Do almost every night.
Well, thanks for letting me disambiguate. And yes, I blame Wikipedia for that. You always see those, don't you?
Wikipedia? Yeah.
Yeah, those where a term or a phrase might have different meanings.
Yep.
And it would tell you all of them. There's one thing I do want to point out though. At some point you might want to update your video game history slideshow.
Yeah, I need to add some more stuff to it.
Especially with with the with things past the Wii era, if it even gets to that.
Yeah, you need to add like additional. Yeah, I guess I don't really go into much like of the most recent stuff. I don't think I have like PlayStation or Xboxes on there.
And the Switch is big,
Yeah.
but it's about to be outdated
Yep.
because there's a Switch 2 coming along at some point this year.
I heard about that. Yeah. Well, we don't do much home system stuff in here. I do have it on in the history though. But,
I know I was just talking about it for that,
Yeah.
but
There's so much needs to be done here. Like updating that is not my number one priority.
understood.
It's usually about keeping all the games running and running well.
I'm kind of curious. When do you think you'd have a Hall of Fame kind of thing for the arcade machines? I know you do a similar thing up here for pinball.
Yeah, I'd like to. The tough thing is like most of the games, and I guess there's a reason why I should do it, is most of the games don't save the high scores once you turn them off. But I think it would be kind of cool to have like a little placard that we put in there and update it with someone's name and what their high scores were. The tough thing about that is I need to have some kind of high scores as a starting point. I can't, otherwise I'm going to be updating stuff all day long, right? I got to, have some type of like, here's the bar you got to hit before we put your name on here.
Well, you're talking to someone who's...
That is a good idea, though. I need to come up with a way to easily
to do so?
Yeah, and just to like, I do a lot of things laminated, but I don't want to have to laminate a new card every time somebody beats one. But if I had like a plastic kind of pocket that I could just fill out a new thing and stick it in there, would be ideal.
And I know it won't apply to all games, like the Mortal Kombat or
No,
so.
That's true. Yeah, it would only be certain games like that actually have that the objective is to get a high score. And mostly the classic stuff. So yeah, it wouldn't be like Golden Key or Simpsons or Big Buck Hunter and all that. Big Buck Hunter saves all the high scores. So if there's like all the different animals you're fighting or you're hunting, it's not easy.
Plus, I'll admit I had a selfish reason for wanting a high score.
Oh, you want to see somebody who beat you in Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's what I would do it on. I would do it on things like Pac-Man, This To Do, and I've actually thought about doing doing like a prize, like a monthly prize. Whoever's got the highest score for the month and pick like 2 or 3 games to include in it. Would get like a $25 gift card to Texas Roadhouse or something like that. But yeah, that would help kind of drive people to go for those high scores.
And I'm gonna say this. One thing I don't like, and I know I'm guilty of it myself, is when you either die once and leave the game.
Yeah, that's...
Or you can leave a lot of players open in a pinball machine and not come back to it.
Yeah. Well, on the newer Sterns, if you hold the left flipper button and then hold the start button, it'll reset it.
Suri told me that.
Yeah, that is nice. I want to have a way I can reset them. I'm going to use it like a magnet and like a read sensor, so I can go in a certain spot on the game on the side of the game, and I can just hold the magnet up to it, and it will reset it through the slam film. So I don't have to turn it off and turn it back on again.
Right.
So I got
Well, we'll continue this talk after these words from no sponsor at all. Well, here I am in a room that would normally be off limits to customers to show a circuit board for
Galaxian.
Galaxian.
And these are the dip switches here. And these dip switches allow you to change options on the game, such as number of lives.
How many points you need for an extra life,
Yep.
and how hard the difficulty is.
Yep.
I've played some of the home ports where they've been done, where those options are available. So I know somewhat about them.
Yeah. That's that. And what else I have back here? Now, this is a joystick. You can kind of see this is a four-way joystick. There's only one button, one switch can be switched at a time, left, right, up, or down. So this would be like a Pac-Man or a.
And that's the underside of one,
And this is the top.
without the red ball.
Yep, and this is probably something I replaced, with a more reliable.
Yeah.
piece. This is what a trackball looks like.
I'm thinking that might have been used for Centipede.
Centipede. This actually, I think, came out of Simpsons Bowling.
Oh.
Somebody had, I think, broken it. Oh, maybe not. I don't know why I kept it. I kept it for a reason. I think it does still work, but I think I ordered a new one for the game.
Yeah.
It could be that this is broken.
And duct tape's falling to the ground. That's never a good sign.
So this is just more repair parts. There's some other joysticks here. These are somewhat collectible. These are Atari joysticks. These came out of the Gauntlet game, and I just salvaged the joysticks. I don't know if I can really even. So they need to be rebuilt because they can't even move.
Yeah.
I got a couple monitors down here that I need to fix. Go into games when they break.
What's that one under the covers?
Oh, this is just a monitor chassis. So this is just from a monitor. That's what goes along with the monitor to make the
Oh.
And this is demolding. So this is the stuff you see on the edges of all the wood. So you don't just see a bare piece of wood. You see
Oh.
you can cut a slot in it. So I've got some of that to repair broken ones. And this is from Mr. Do. I thought green would look nice on it, so I did that. Some of the parts, you got monitor bezel, kind of, so you don't see around the rest of the game, you just see the monitor.
Right.
I never throw anything away because you never know when you're going to need it.
Okay. We're no longer busy once again. And there's some other stuff to think about. You know how there's all this crime in certain cities in certain states in this country?
There's what?
A lot of crime in certain areas in this country. Yeah. Do you think having more open arcades like this would help curb it by giving people something to do other than be involved in gangs and such?
Yeah, I don't know if it would necessarily be anything. I mean, it gives people. I think it's, I think some of the benefits. I don't think that's necessarily a benefit, or it's going to be a cause and effect relationship. I mean, I do think it kind of gives kids that play games a reason to get out of the house and be more social. Go to a place instead of sitting in front of your TV playing a game by yourself with your friends, like on your voice chat. You can actually go somewhere and hang out and have a more of a social experience, which I think would be better for kids in the long term.
All right. And I'll admit, coming here has helped me mentally, especially talking to Zuri.
Oh yeah, it gets people out of the house, and it's a social type of place. To play pinball, multiplayer games with your friends, or
Go against each other in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it really is. And this place is really set up well for it. You've got, over 90 games, and then we also have a lot of seating in here. So, you can play some games and you kind of hang out and sit and get something to eat or a soda or whatever.
Oh, that reminds me.
What?
I left my soda at the counter.
Oh.
The preceding moment was brought to you by Forgetfulness Anonymous. Something I just made up off the top of my head. But seriously, have you ever realized that you've forgotten something once someone said something?
Oh yeah, I actually was thinking that after I said it, hey, where's this soda at? Did he drink it already?
Turns out it was still at the counter.
Yeah.
By the way, do you think arcades like this have made a comeback or are making a comeback?
Oh, definitely. They definitely are. I mean, you're seeing, pinball in a lot more places now. You see a lot more, arcade-themed bars. There's not a whole lot of arcades like for young kids anymore. You've got your Chuck E. Cheese and places like that, but those kind of places are generally mostly 90% redemption games, winning tickets to get prizes. But to actually have like a true gaming experience, there's not much for kids, except in an environment like this. And there's more of these opening up every year. We have a couple in North Carolina. Asheville Pinball Museum, the Carolina Arcade Museum in Forest City. We have us here, and then there's a number of places that take tokens or coins, but it seems like the single admission-based model is more friendly to parents bringing their kids there, because they can pay the one price and play as long as they want.
And speaking of Chuck E. Cheese, one of the things that got this whole interview thing started with Suri was her reading me interview one of my friends online who worked at a Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, okay.
And all I'll say is that even when you take the arcade part out of consideration, it's a cell of its former self.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it was originally created by the guy who created Atari as a place, to put games for people to play. But it's kind of gone away from games that you play to kind of more of a gambling for kids kind of place.
Yeah, kind of a Dave and Buster's Jr. And it doesn't even have animatronics. That made it famous.
Yeah, they recently got rid of all of that. Yeah.
Only a select few locations have them.
Yep.
And to make up for lost profit, they're selling frozen pizza at the stores.
Frozen pizza?
Yeah.
Yeah, we make our pizzas fresh here.
What I meant was like you
can buy them in the supermarket?
Yeah.
Oh my God, who would buy Chuck E. Cheese pizza? Like at the store to bring home. That seems crazy.
Only someone with a kid who wants the e-tickets attached to the box that much would do so.
Yep.
And even then, the parents would probably not like it.
No, probably not.
And then there's the theory that they don't throw away uneaten pizza over there.
I don't know.
Which time and time again, when I've talked to former employees through these chats, every one of them debunked it.
Yeah, I don't think that you wouldn't get away with that for very long.
Yeah, that would be a health violation for sure.
Oh my God, yeah.
All it takes is one kid puking and you'd be in lawsuit city.
All you'd have to do have one employee who thought that was a bad idea to contact the Department of Health.
Yeah. But now we're getting sidetracked. But I've been known to go off on tangents before. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with esports, right?
Yep.
Well, what if I were to tell you that a television show that was mainly people playing Miss Pac-Man, for example, that might have been one of the earliest forms of esports on TV.
Yeah. Well, they used to do competitions and stuff, and it was like video game competitions.
Well, there might be a problem with one of the machines. So, tell the viewers what's wrong with this one right now.
It's got a ball stuck. There's a ball stuck right back here. Yeah, I can get my fingers down into it.
Let me see if... Oh, there it went.
Yeah.
I was going to sign a flashlight, but I guess we didn't need to. It's amazing how many times balls get stuck in these things. And that's one of the simpler repairs that we've had in our time working on pinball machines. Okay, we're back after having to dislodge a ball from a spot in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles machine. I was about to tell Jim here about Starcade, which was a game show back in 82, 83,
Okay.
where the main gameplay was getting a high score in arcade games.
Okay.
In fact, it was around the time a lot of new ones were coming out.
Yeah. Well, that was the time you had games like, this Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Kung Kong Jr. was all in the early 80s.
Yeah. And they promoted that sometimes they'd be playing games before they were released in the arcades.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember watching that, but
Yeah,
it
didn't last long on TV.
No, I guess not.
Like 1 or 2 years. But you can watch it on YouTube if their official YouTube channel now.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that.
That's Starcade with ST at the beginning and with one R.
Oh, okay.
And I have to say that because some people might end up putting two R's and end up getting the wrestling event.
Oh, okay.
Spelling makes a difference.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that was the thing that was on TV for a little bit. Well, is there any other things you'd like to add?
No, I think we pretty much covered it all. Running an arcade isn't easy, but it's the best job I've ever had.
And it was a pleasure meeting you and talking to you about it.
Oh, you're welcome.
I wonder if anyone else ever asked to do this kind of thing.
I've done interviews with, when we first opened, I did interviews with Casting Gazette, a couple other news channels. WCNC Charlotte came in here, did some filming on her. If you do a search for, Classic Arcade Pinball Museum online, you'll see the WCNC segment they did. That was pretty cool too. I thought it was going to be like a quick 20-second kind of transition piece from one area of the news to another, but it really wasn't. It was like a full 5-minute long interview and just kind of showcasing what we had to offer here.
And I'm gonna say this: I'm not affiliated with any organization or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just a kid. Well, not a kid, but a guy building his YouTube channel.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
And with that, I believe we're done here.
Oh, thank you.
So, for Jim, this is CJ saying thanks for playing in the arcades. I so wanted to say something else there, but then again, the topic is arcade games, not game shows. See you later, everyone.